All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we have a Houston Rockets video. We're just going to kind of talk about here tonight. And it was a super stressful night, man. But before we get into this video, if you enjoy it, hit the like button, hit that sub button. I do post Houston Rocket videos every single day. So I'm going to make a ton of Houston Rocket videos coming up here because now there's finally something to talk about here. The Houston Rockets they're a big winner. Like, they're just an absolute big winner, in my opinion, on this. Now, they had a 48% chance at falling to 5. And if you weren't aware, for some reason, if you weren't aware, the Rockets, if they got the 5th pick in the draft, it was going to go to Oklahoma. And they had the worst record in the NBA, so it wasn't going to be anywhere higher than 5. And that 5th pick was the most stressful thing in the entire world. That was absolutely, I don't even have a word, man. You can go back, look at my live stream, because it was just stress, dude. It was just stress. And this Houston Rockets team has been waiting for news like this in so long. They have been waiting since pretty much, man, I don't even know, because it was a weird year for the Rockets because things were looking good with James Harden right off the bat, although, there was rumors. I mean, first game, James Harden goes 44-17. Christian Wood looks really good. Christian Wood's going 20-10. And then everything just kind of happened. James Harden gets traded, and then eventually Victor Oladipo got traded. PJ Tucker got traded, and it's tough because, those were the victories for Rocket fans. That's what we were celebrating, because it was like, all right, well, I guess now that James Harden's actually gone, we kind of got to figure it out now. And so trade PJ, trade Victor Oladipo, try and get some value back. They got the value back. And ever since then, I mean, it was really only KPJ, Christian Wood. I mean, hardcore Rocket fans, good Rocket fans know, KJ Martin, Jay Sean Tate. These guys had good seasons. They had good games. They had good showings. Rocket fans who are watching these games are seeing this, and that's good. But it wasn't, 17 wins. How good of a season can it really be when you have 17 wins? And outside of KJ and Jay Sean Tate, I mean, kind of more mainstream, you just in general had Christian Wood going 20-10, and then you had KPJ going off. Then he drops 50-11, and that was kind of a little resurgence. So for the most part, Houston Rocket fans were just left hanging the entire season. And it was just, tonight was a huge sigh of relief because now they have something to show for. And it's probably not going to be a Cade, although I will make a video on, can they get Cade? Can they trade up for one? Is it possible? Is it possible for Detroit to not want Cade Cunningham? Personally, I highly, highly doubt it. But now that we know the order of the lottery, we can dive into these hypotheticals. We can dive into these situations. And the thing is, more news are going to be coming out. The Pistons' last number 1 pick was 1970. So the Rockets most likely are going to get Evan Mobley, Jalen Green, or Jalen Suggs. And personally, I like all 4 of those. For the Houston Rockets fit, I would say I would draft them, Mobley, Green, and then Suggs. The best part about having the 2nd pick and Cade Cunningham most likely going 1 is you really just can pick from one of those. And up until tonight, it was all right, what if the Rockets fall to 4? Who's going the first 3, right? If the Rockets get 2 or 3, if the Rockets get 3, what's going to happen? So now the Rockets have a lot of power here. Houston couldn't, they literally could not have dreamed of finding any of those 3 players if it was swapped out. If they had actually fallen to 5 and had gone to Oklahoma, they would have fallen to 18. They still would have had 3 first-round picks, so everything still would have been okay. They probably could find a good package to move up in the draft or trade some players to move up in the draft. And it's a very deep draft as well, one of the deepest drafts we've seen in recent years. But now the Rockets, you look at it, they have the 2nd pick, and they already have a few just intriguing young guys in this core. But they need to build. They just need to keep building and building and building and building on from that. You got Christian Wood. You got KPJ. Now, Cade Cunningham, it is locked in at 1, man. Like, there's worse places to start your career. It's I don't even know, man. I'm sure Cade's ecstatic either way of just being drafted in the NBA, but that Pistons rosters needs work. I mean, all these rebuilding teams their rosters need work, so kind of goes without saying. But this is a huge win, man. This is just an absolute huge win for the Houston Rockets. Now, most mock drafts have the Rockets picking Evan Mobley. Now, what I really like about Evan Mobley is he's just really good on defense. He's a 7-footer. He moves extremely well for being 7 foot. He's very versatile, and his skill set is a little bit up to date. It's what the NBA is kind of transitioning towards and moving towards at that 5 spot. Now, the Houston Rockets defense was one of the worst parts about the team, even just with James Harden on it, even with our full roster with PJ on it. Super small team, super small. Christian Wood isn't tall. Christian Wood only weighs 215. With Evan Mobley, you get really they're going to be immediately tougher to score on. He's quick. He's got great length. And after a few years, Mobley really should become offensively much better than he is right now. I mean, there was a game in this past season at USC. Granted, he's super young. I mean, all these guys really are super young. He's a freshman. There was a game where he didn't take a shot. Like, he literally did not take a shot that game. And that's going to have to change in the NBA, man. You're going to have to just be a little bit more aggressive. So, obviously, thinking after a couple of years, you got to just kind of hope that he's going to evolve. He's going to emerge, and he's going to get better at his offensive game. Now, with Christian Wood, I think it's going to work really well. I think it's going to be very interchangeable. I think it's going to be very versatile. They're going to be able to roll out with a bunch of different lineups. And Christian Wood, in my opinion, in this offseason, I think he's just going to go absolutely off in the weight room, in the gym. I think he's going to come back next year being better than he ever has. And this is the first season Christian Wood ever really got a started role. I mean, he only started 13 or so games for the Detroit Pistons 2 years ago, and then he only started in 8 games for the Pelicans 3 years ago. And this is the first year his minutes started with a 3 in front of it. And what he was able to accomplish, especially on this roller coaster of a team, and he was doing all of this with James Harden still on the team. So his biggest thing right now is, can he stay healthy? If he can stay healthy, I mean, he should be a great player. And with Evan Mobley there, I mean, this is going to be great. And obviously you can want Jalen Green, Jalen Suggs, and we'll kind of talk about it all. But I think Evan Mobley, at this current moment, I mean, he's just kind of who I would go with, just going after mock drafts. I would have to agree with most of them. But anyways, guys, that's going to be it for today. Hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, hit the like button, hit that sub button.